Imagine getting a phone call that sounds like a lifeline, but is actually a trap. The voice on the other end is calm, professional, sounds like they can solve all your healthcare problems, but their real goal? To steal your identity. This is the sophisticated and, frankly, cruel world of the Medicare impersonation scam. Today, we're going to do a forensic analysis of this whole criminal system. We'll dissect how it weaponizes trust, why it's so psychologically damaging, and most importantly, we're going to arm you with the one absolute defense that makes you completely immune to this attack.
The most insidious feature of the Medicare scam call is that the fake agent who calls you sounds like the only person capable of resolving your complex, critical healthcare needs. And that, right there, that's not just a trick. It's a really sophisticated, really nasty paradox. See, the voice isn't threatening at first. It's helpful, it's authoritative, it sounds competent. For a lot of seniors trying to navigate a complex, often confusing healthcare system, a confident voice like that can feel like a godsend. And that is exactly what the scammers were counting on. It's this illusion of help that makes the attack so devastating.
So that deceptive hook we just talked about, that's the entire foundation of the scam. It's a system that masterfully turns your fundamental need for healthcare security into a weapon against you. The criminal's goal here isn't just to snag a credit card number. Oh no, it's far more strategic than that. They use your trust in the Medicare system to pull off a full-scale identity theft. They're weaponizing your very dependency on healthcare to do it. So how do they choose their target so effectively? Well, it all starts with a very deep understanding of human vulnerability.
Okay, to really understand the attack, first we have to map out the emotional territory where it all happens. Scammers don't just operate randomly, they are meticulous. They identify and exploit very specific weak points. They are, in a pretty dark way, expert psychologists, and they know exactly which buttons to press. Let's break down the specific advantages they're always looking for.
This slide really lays out the criminal's whole game plan. Let's walk through it. First, the target demographic. Seniors, usually over 60. Why? Well, they're the primary users of Medicare, and for many, it's their only lifeline for healthcare. So the threat of losing it feels, well, existential. Second, the core emotion they exploit is fear. And not just any fear. We're talking about the deep, primal terror of losing your essential medical benefits. That kind of threat can just shut down rational thought. Third, they prey on a key vulnerability, the real confusion a lot of people feel when they're navigating the maze of Medicare. You know, the paperwork, the updates, the jargon, it creates this vacuum of certainty, and the scammer's confident voice just rushes right in to fill it. Fourth, the timing is no accident. Attacks spike during the annual open enrollment period. Why then? Because that's when legitimate communication from Medicare is at its peak. All that real mail and real calls create a kind of smokescreen of legitimacy, making it almost impossible to tell a real agent from a fake one. And finally, the initial deception is technological. They use VoIP number spoofing to make the call look like it's coming from an official government office. So your first line of defense, your caller ID, is compromised before you even say hello.
Now, to keep total control, scammers use this powerful psychological tactic called the isolation effect. This is absolutely critical for the scam to work, because you know what the scammer's greatest enemy is? A second opinion. A spouse in the next room, a child they could call, even just a quiet moment to think. So they create this high-pressure bubble where none of that is possible. They'll say things like, "We have to resolve this on this call, right now, or your benefits will be suspended by midnight." They threaten you with catastrophic loss. "If you hang up this phone, I can't guarantee we can reinstate your eligibility." This creates a closed loop, just you and the criminal, where the only source of information and the only path to safety is them.
All right, so we understand the target and the tactics. Now let's shift gears and do a forensic breakdown of the scam itself. This isn't random. It's a structured, three-phase criminal operation, and it's designed for maximum efficiency in stealing your identity. We're going to deconstruct it step by step.
So the attack flows through three very distinct stages. Phase 1 is initiation. That's where they make contact and grab authority. Phase 2 is escalation, where they crank up the fear and enforce that isolation we just talked about. And Phase 3 is extraction, the final theft and how they cover their tracks. Let's look at each one of these a little closer.
Okay, Phase 1, initiation. The phone rings, you see that spoof number, and you answer. The person on the line immediately says they're a Medicare representative. They sound professional, they use all the right words, and then they drop the bomb. A totally made-up, high-stakes crisis. It could be, "Sir, we're seeing a problem with your card," or "Ma'am, your coverage is about to be canceled unless we update your file right now." This is the crucial moment. In just those first 30 seconds, they use the perceived authority of the US government to invent a catastrophic problem that, guess what, only they can solve. Your rational mind is immediately thrown on the defensive.
And now we enter phase 2, escalation. The scammer has created the problem, and now they position themselves as the one and only solution. They'll say something like, "Now, to protect your benefits, I just need to verify your Medicare number and the last 4 of your social." And this is where the manipulation just completely flips on its head. It's a brilliant and really cynical piece of social engineering. The act of giving away your most sensitive personal information is reframed as an act of saving your benefits. You're not being robbed. No, you're being responsible. You're not a victim. You're actively participating in the solution. They've turned a really dangerous act into a necessary one.
And while they're demanding this information, they are aggressively enforcing that isolation effect. This is the psychological choke point. They will keep you talking constantly, leaving zero room for you to think, to pause, or to question anything. If you hesitate, they just escalate the threat. "Sir, I can hear you're hesitant, but every second we wait increases the risk of a permanent cancellation. You don't want to risk that, do you?" They create an environment of cognitive overload, just overwhelming you with jargon and fake procedures and urgency. And this isn't just mental pressure, it's physiological. The stress hormones flooding your system are deliberately triggered to shut down your logical thought. They want you reacting, not thinking.
So we've seen what they do, but to truly defend ourselves, we have to understand why it is so devastatingly effective. This isn't just a trick, it's a weaponized application of cognitive psychology. They're basically using the way our brains are wired against us. Let's analyze the specific psychological triggers these criminals are pulling.
This slide really pulls back the curtain on the scammer's psychological toolkit. First, they exploit authority bias. We're all conditioned to respect authority, especially from the government. The scammer's calm, official tone hijacks this built-in trust. Second, fear conditioning. By linking the call directly to the catastrophic loss of healthcare, they trigger a primal fight-or-flight response, making careful, rational thought incredibly difficult. Third, they induce cognitive overload. Let's be honest, Medicare is complex. The scammer weaponizes this complexity, hitting you with a blizzard of jargon to make you feel overwhelmed and totally dependent on their expertise. Fourth, they manipulate the scarcity heuristic. This is our brain's shortcut that screams, if it's limited time, it must be important. By creating a fake deadline, you have to act before midnight. They manufacture urgency and force a quick decision. All of these tactics push your brain into what psychologists call System 1 thinking. That's the fast, intuitive, and dangerously emotional part of your brain. They are deliberately trying to bypass your slower, more logical System 2 brain, the part of you that would normally stop and ask, wait a minute.
This slide visualizes the internal battle the scammer is engineering inside your mind. Over here on the left, you've got that emotional System 1 reaction they want. Panic, fear, immediate compliance, and that overwhelming urge to fix this now. But on the right is the logical System 2 response they're trying to suppress. Calm skepticism, pausing to question, the instinct to verify for yourself, and asking that simple, powerful question, is this real? The entire scam is a sophisticated psychological war designed from the ground up to make that left column win out over the right one. Every time.
Okay, we have analyzed this attack in forensic detail. Now, let's pivot to the most important part of this whole explainer, your defense. And here's the good news. While the attack is psychologically sophisticated, the defense is incredibly simple, and it is 100% effective. This is about empowerment, not fear. The entire criminal enterprise, with all its psychological tricks and tech, it all hinges on one single thing: you staying on the phone and doing what they say. So what is the one defense that breaks their entire system and works every single time? Here it is. This is the single most important piece of information in this entire explainer. So please, burn this into your memory. Medicare will never, ever call you out of the blue and ask for your Medicare number, your social security number, or your bank information. This is not a guideline, it is an absolute ironclad rule. If you get a call like this, it is a scam 100% of the time. There are no exceptions. Let me repeat that because it is that critical. Medicare will never call you unsolicited and ask for your personal information, period. So that leads us to the mandatory defense protocol. It's a simple 3-step process. Step 1, recognize the red flag. The moment an unsolicited caller claiming to be from Medicare asks for your personal ID number, the alarm bells have to go off. That is the universal signal of a scam. Step 2, hang up immediately. This is what we call the mandatory disconnection. Do not argue, do not ask questions, do not tell them you think they're a scammer.
Just hang up. You don't owe them a debate or an explanation. Your only responsibility is to your own safety, and that means ending the call. Every second you stay on the line is another second they can use to manipulate you. Step 3. Verify independently. If you're worried there might be a real issue, you take control. You initiate the contact. Find your official Medicare card and call the number on the back yourself. That simple act puts you back in the driver's seat.
And here is that number, 1-800-Medicare. This is the official, verified contact number. By hanging up on their call and making your own call to this number, you are performing what's known as out-of-band verification. It's a fancy term, but it just means you're breaking the scammer's closed loop and re-establishing contact on a secure channel that you control. If there really is an issue, the agent at this number will see it. And if there isn't, you've just proven the first call was a scam, and you've won.
We have covered a lot of ground today, from the psychology of the scam to the exact steps for defense. I want to leave you with one final thought. A simple, powerful mantra that you can use to protect yourself and everyone you care about.
Let this be the takeaway. Medicare never calls you. Hang up and protect your number. This simple sentence is your shield. It neutralizes their authority, it cuts through the fear, and it completely defeats their entire criminal system. The fear of losing your healthcare is powerful, but this knowledge is your power. Remember it, share it, and stay safe.